Hello, good evening, children. Yesterday we have completed about the bacteria. Now let's start another new chapter. That is about the. I told you we are going to start about viruses. If you have any doubts, you can make a phone call and ask me. Um, so this is a very familiar term nowadays. Viruses. So Prapanchananta, the entire earth, it's a burning topic now about the viruses. So we are all aware of it. The pandemic situation that is going on in the whole of the planet. So now everybody is looking towards the arrival of a vaccine for the control of this pandemic. So now we are going to just study about this group of you can say they are biological entities, the viruses. So we are going to know about the history, how they came into existence, how viruses are classified, the classification of viruses, what are the various structure of viruses, and I told you in the previous class also, the virus that causes infection to bacteria is called as bacteriophage virus. So how it multiplies, and then a few names of a few viral diseases that are caused in plants and that are caused in humans. So we'll be learning about all these in this chapter. So first of all, studying about viruses, all each and every aspect about viruses is called as virology. Virology. Virology అంటే ఏంటి? దీన్ని వైరాలజీ అంటే వైరసెస్ గురించి ఇన్ డెప్త్ డీటెయిల్డ్గా స్టడీ చేయడాన్ని it's under the branch of biology. It comes under the branch of biology which is called as virology. And viruses, as we know, they you can call it as a connecting link between the living and the non-living viruses. And once they are outside a living organism, they behave like lifeless particles, just like crystals. మామూలు సాల్ట్ క్రిస్టల్ ఎట్లా ఉంటుందో లేకపోతే షుగర్ క్రిస్టల్ ఎలా ఉంటుందో అట్లా ఉంటాయి ఇవి. ఏది ఏదన్నా హోస్ట్ బయట ఒక లివింగ్ సెల్ బయట ఉంటే దే బిహేవ్ యాజ్ నాన్ లివింగ్ things or non-living crystals, just like that. They are like that when they are outside the a living cell, when they are outside a living cell. That's why the viruses are mostly described as obligate intracellular parasites. This is how the viruses are described as. They are described as obligate intracellular obligate intracellular parasites. This is how they are described as. This is how we describe the viruses. Obligate means compulsory. That is what is the meaning of obligate. They must be within a cell, otherwise they cannot survive. That's why you call them as obligate. Intracellular, inside a cell, intracellular parasites. So they depend on the materials or on the metabolic activity of that host cell. That's why they are called as parasites. Obligate means compulsory. Outside the host they cannot survive. Outside the host cell survival is impossible. That's why they are called as obligate intracellular parasites. And we all know the virus. What is a virus made up of? The virus is just made up of two basic components. One is the nucleic acid, that is the genetic material. The virus is made up of the nucleic acid, and that nucleic acid, it may be either DNA or the RNA. So these are depending on the type of virus. The virus consists of two major components. One is the nucleic acid and another one is the protein coat. A coat which is made up of proteins. A protein coat. This is what the DNA, the virus is made up of. It consists of a nucleic acid that may be um, a DNA or an RNA, or it consists of a protein coat, and that protein coat may be made up of it may be an envelope of lipids also. So this is what a virus is made up of. Simply, it consists of two main components, that is the nucleic acids and an envelope made up of lipids or a protein coat. This is what it is made up of. And to maintain its genetic continuity, what it does is it undergoes multiplication inside the cells, and then it can also undergo mutations. Mutations means change in its genetic material frequently, every now and then. Simply, it can be it can undergo changes in its genetic material depending on the type of virus. Either it is a DNA or RNA, the change takes place in its genetic material. Those changes, sudden changes in its genetic material, are what are called as mutations. Mutations, bringing about changes in its genetic material, that is frequently observed in virus particles, and mostly they are infectious particles. This is you can consider it as a unique group called as biological entities, because these are the cells that can cause infection, right from bacteria to you can say animals, including humans. All these cells can be infected by virus like bacteria, algae, fungi, protozoans, plants, animals, including humans. Each and every, right from microbes to the multicellular large animals, all these living organisms can be infected by the virus. So this is a brief introduction about the virus. Now let's go to the history. Who was the first one to discover this virus? The discovery of virus, who did it? So um, even after the germ theory of diseases was um, given by Robert Koch in 1892, in the year 1892, a Russian pathologist called Dmitry Ivanovsky. Dmitry Ivanovsky. This Russian pathologist called Dmitry Ivanovsky. He was the one. He was studying on the tobacco plant, in an infected tobacco plant. What he did was he was studying on a tobacco plant. Who? Dmitry Ivanovsky. When he was studying on this tobacco plant, what he did was from an infected tobacco plant, he extracted the sap. Sap means the fluid that is present in the plant from the leaf. From the leaf of a tobacco plant, he extracted the sap, and then he filtered this sap through a filter paper, which was through a filter that was designed to stop the flow of bacterial cells. Through that filter, bacterial cells cannot pass through. Bacterial cells, it could stop the flow of bacterial cells, so that the sap from the leaf of tobacco plant was passed through that filter, and that filtered sap, the filtered sap from that infected tobacco plant was again re-injected into a healthy plant. He re-injected it into a healthy tobacco plant. And for his astonishment, what happened is he found that the healthy plant also again got infected with the same disease. So from this, it was evident that there are certain disease causing agents that are even more smaller than a bacterial cell. So this was how the existence of this virus came into limelight, by the activity conducted by Dmitry Ivanovsky. What he did was he was experimenting on a tobacco plant, and that tobacco plant was suffering. Afterwards, it was named as The disease was named as tobacco mosaic disease. Tobacco mosaic disease. So with that, he took the sap of that plant. He passed it through a filter, which was supposed to stop the flow of bacterial cells through the filter, and the filtered sap was re-injected into a healthy plant. And to his astonishment, even after the filtration, the healthy plant was again infected with the tobacco mosaic virus, or with the tobacco mosaic disease. And from that they could understand that there are infectious particles which are even more smaller than the bacterial cells. That's why they passed through the filter, and then it entered into the filtered sap. And after Dmitry Ivanovsky's experiment, another biologist called Bejernik, he also conducted the same experiments done by Dmitry Ivanovsky, and he got the same result. And then he concluded that there was a certain the fluid is somewhat poisonous, and then it is having certain infectious particles. Then he named that contagious fluid as Contagium vivum fluidum. He named it as Contagium vivum fluidum. And afterwards, the viral particles were extracted in the crystallized form by another scientist called as W.M. Stanley. W.M. Stanley. He identified, he crystallized the virus particles, and then he got the purified sap and announced that the virus causing the mosaico disease in tobacco could be crystallized. And then another scientist called as Conract, another scientist, Conract. He confirmed that the genetic material in the tobacco mosaic virus is RNA. The virus in the crystallized form was first identified by W.M. Stanley, and then the genetic material was confirmed by Conract. The genetic material in that virus that is causing the tobacco mosaic disease, its genetic material is RNA. So this is in brief the discovery of viruses, which started in the year 1892, by a Russian pathologist called as Dmitry Ivanovsky. Children, this is somewhat new, using this pen and writing on this graphic board. That's why it's a bit difficult. So as that is the first. You can we'll continue in the second video.